Have you ever felt like you don't truly belong anywhere? At family gatherings, at work, or even in distant cities, something always feels subtly out of sync, as if the rhythms others follow are not quite your own. Perhaps your dreams, intuition, or quiet moments of reflection reveal truths that others overlook, patterns that escape most people, or connections that seem almost invisible. You may notice how often life surprises you in ways others cannot explain. A sudden clarity about a decision, a dream that lingers with meaning long after you wake, or a synchrony in events that hints at unseen guidance. Others may not notice these currents, yet you feel them deeply, as if your soul is attuned to a frequency beyond the ordinary. If these experiences feel familiar, you are likely encountering the quiet signature of an old soul. Your awareness, your sensitivity, and the depth of your insight are not coincidences. They are echoes of a soul that has lived many lives, carrying wisdom meant to guide, awaken, and illuminate. These qualities can feel isolating at times, yet they also shape the way you move through the world, quietly influencing others while keeping much of your depth unseen. As you listen to the signs that follow, notice which resonate with you. Each one reflects a truth about your soul, revealing how your awareness, your depth, and your sense of being different are not accidents, but proof that you have journeyed far and are here to quietly awaken the world. Sign 1. Born into chaos, yet guided by spirit. From the earliest moments of your life, you may have felt surrounded by turbulence. The household echoed with tension, voices rising, anger rolling in like waves that never truly settled. Conflicts erupted constantly, leaving unseen scars, and an undercurrent of unpredictability seemed ever present. Even as a child, you felt it. The instability, the quiet pressures, the anxieties carried by adults who were themselves adrift. And yet, in the midst of this, something stirred inside you. A still, observing presence. You quietly noticed what others overlooked, sensing what others could not name. You learned early that life demanded vigilance. You softened your footsteps, modulated your voice, and monitored the shifting moods around you. In subtle ways, you became the caretaker of your own heart, and sometimes even the silent anchor for the adults who should have been holding you. While others played without thought, you measured, reflected, and absorbed. This was not weakness. It was the cultivation of mind and heart in the crucible of experience. In moments of solitude, when the house finally fell silent or you retreated inward, you touched something beyond your years. Questions arose about life, impermanence, and suffering, about patterns of human behavior and the unseen currents that guide them. You did not ask these questions as a confused child might. You asked them as a soul remembering truths long carried, glimpses of wisdom gathered across lifetimes. The chaos outside nudged you inward, sharpening perception, deepening emotional intelligence, and awakening the rare clarity that marks an old soul. Being born into chaos was never punishment. It was a training ground. It shaped a soul capable of seeing the world with clarity, moving through turbulence with steadiness, and acting from awareness rather than impulse. Like a lotus growing through dense mud, you rose quietly, strengthened by circumstance, yet guided from within. The resilience, empathy, and intuition that emerged were not merely learned, they were remembered. Even as a child, you exhibited a maturity that could not be explained by age alone, a sign that your soul had lived many lives, carrying wisdom meant to awaken others and illuminate the paths they walk. Sign 2. A vast inner world. Few can enter. Within an old soul lives a sanctuary vast and profound, a depth shaped by memories, intuitions, and quiet recognitions carried across lifetimes. This inner world moves like hidden ocean currents, silent, expansive, and alive, beneath what others can see. People may meet you and believe they understand you, but what they perceive is only the surface. The true depth remains untouched, impossible to grasp without having walked through many incarnations of their own. If you've noticed how rare it is for others to truly reach the depth of who you are, this is a sign. If people often think they know you, only to later realize they barely understood anything at all, you are living this experience. If your thoughts come in layers, if your emotions carry echoes you struggle to name, if insights arise that feel older than your age, these are not accidents. They are the movements of a soul that has lived, remembered, and awakened. Your inner world is alive, immense, and intricate. It is a space where intuition flows easily, where understanding rises before the world even recognizes a pattern. Dreams, impressions, and sudden realizations form a living archive of your soul, so rich it can even surprise you at times. Most conversations and interactions touch only the surface. People may enjoy your presence, but the deeper layers remain unseen, reserved for the very rare few who can meet you there. Here, wisdom does not shout, it whispers. Connections between events, people, and subtle signals emerge without effort, revealing truths that remain invisible to most. This depth allows you to navigate life with a clarity and steadiness others rarely understand, sensing shifts long before they surface. When the world cannot match your frequency, when others move across the surface while you move through the depths, it is not isolation. It is simply the natural state of a soul that has traveled far. This inner sanctuary is not a hiding place. It's the source of your intuition, your discernment, and your quiet influence. It is the foundation from which your presence subtly shapes the people and spaces around you. Your depth, your resonance, and the currents you perceive belong to a soul few can meet at that level. And that is precisely what marks you as an old soul. Sign 3. Heightened sensitivity and intuition. For the old soul, the world often feels sharper, richer, more alive than it does for others. Emotions, energies, and unspoken thoughts resonate with a quiet intensity, as if every interaction carries a vibration meant to be perceived. A slight tremor in a friend's voice, the hesitation in a stranger's glance, or a fleeting expression that hints at hidden feelings. These are not accidents. What others might dismiss as overthinking are, in fact, signals from the unseen currents of life, guiding choices and responses. Intuition acts as a compass, quietly steering decisions toward alignment with the highest good, not only for oneself, but for all those touched along the way. It may appear as a gentle pause before action, or a sudden certainty about which choice to make in a complex situation. Whether it's a career move, a relationship decision, or a personal project, without having all the facts laid out. This quiet clarity guides your steps, helping you choose what aligns most deeply with your values and purpose. Such guidance is both practical and profound, a form of knowledge that transcends logic and reaches into the deeper flow of existence. Sensitivity extends naturally to empathy. The emotions of others are felt deeply, not only those expressed openly, but also the hidden currents beneath the surface. This awareness can feel overwhelming as joys and sorrows intertwine. Yet it also enables acts of profound compassion, knowing when silence heals more than advice, when presence is more powerful than words, when a simple gesture can ease a burden without expectation or recognition. Intuition and sensitivity are not merely traits. They are tools for conscious living, allowing the old soul to navigate the world with subtlety, recognize opportunities for growth, and offer support in ways that often go unseen but leave lasting impact. Like a lighthouse guiding ships through fog and storm, this awareness illuminates paths invisible to others, providing safety, clarity, and understanding. Honoring this gift requires mindful practice. Meditation, journaling, or quiet observation strengthen the inner compass, helping to distinguish between personal emotions and those absorbed from the world. When used with awareness, heightened sensitivity becomes a source of empowerment rather than exhaustion, a way to navigate life's complexities with clarity, compassion, and purpose. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is a mark of a soul evolved to perceive life more deeply, to act wisely, and to awaken others through presence and insight. The more it is listened to, the more life aligns with subtle rhythms of the universe, revealing the profound ways in which wisdom flows into action, illuminating the world quietly but powerfully. Sign 4. Déjà vu and karmic echoes. There are moments when the world feels strangely familiar, as if certain streets, rooms, or faces carry echoes from another life. You might walk into a place for the first time, yet it feels as though you've been there before. Perhaps someone enters your life, and a quiet recognition arises even before a word is spoken. These experiences are not mere coincidences. They are whispers of karmic patterns, subtle reminders that life is woven from threads far older than the present moment. For the old soul, déjà vu is more than curiosity. It is an invitation to notice, reflect, and respond with awareness. Each familiar sensation signals a repetition of a lesson, a chance to approach challenges with insight drawn from past lifetimes. These patterns may appear in work, relationships, or personal struggles. They are not punishments, but opportunities, moments to act with patience, compassion, and understanding. Emotions often accompany these echoes. A sudden pang of nostalgia, a fleeting wave of joy, or an unexpected sense of sadness may arise unbidden, offering subtle guidance about lessons previously experienced. These feelings are signposts, encouraging reflection on how past encounters, decisions, and relationships shape present responses. Karmic echoes also sharpen intuition. They create a resonance, a sense that certain people, events, or circumstances are meant to appear. Recognizing these patterns allows you to navigate life with foresight, choosing actions that honor both personal growth and the interconnectedness of all beings. Think of it like following a river. Its currents twist and turn, obstacles appear, yet the flow persists, shaping the landscape over time. Déjà vu and karmic echoes are markers along this river, showing where lessons were once learned and where attention is needed now. Responding with mindfulness, rather than reacting instinctively, transforms repeated experiences into guidance. For the old soul, these moments are more than coincidences. They are confirmations. They reveal a consciousness attuned to life's deeper patterns, a soul that has journeyed across lifetimes and carries wisdom meant to guide and awaken others. Every déjà vu, every familiar feeling, every karmic echo is a reminder. Your soul is awake, your awareness is alive, and your experiences are meaningful. Sign 5. Vivid, lucid, and lifelong dreams. Many people drift through sleep without remembering much, but you may experience dreams with remarkable clarity. You recall them in vivid detail, even decades later, and sense layers of meaning, guidance, or insight within them. If this resonates, it is a strong signal. Your soul carries memory, awareness, and wisdom that extend beyond ordinary waking life. Dreams become a bridge between past experiences and present understanding, revealing threads of insight rarely perceived by others. Sometimes these dreams replay moments you have yet to encounter, quietly preparing you for decisions, challenges, or encounters ahead. Symbols, recurring landscapes, or familiar faces appear repeatedly, each carrying resonance that unfolds only over time. A flowing river might signify release, a bird could embody freedom or guidance, and a path you have never walked may hint at direction yet to be taken. These images are not random. They're the language of a consciousness operating far beyond the ordinary. Lucid dreaming is another hallmark. In these states, awareness persists even within the dream, and you may notice the ability to influence its flow. This clarity reflects a profound attunement to consciousness itself, a sign that your perception of reality extends beyond surface appearances. Dreams prepare the inner self, refining insight, perception, and understanding in ways most people never experience. Even decades later, you may recall dreams in striking detail, feeling their emotions and messages as if they were real. Patterns, symbols, or recurring faces resonate with meaning that others might dismiss as coincidence. This enduring clarity is unmistakable. Your inner world is deep, timeless, and attuned to truths few perceive. Dreams that linger, repeat, or anticipate experiences yet to come are living proof of a consciousness that has journeyed beyond ordinary limits. If this resonates with you, it is a clear sign of being an old soul. Your dreams are not random. They are a reflection of a consciousness that has lived, remembered, and evolved across lifetimes. They are a map of your soul's wisdom, a guide to navigating life, and a reminder that the insight you carry is rare, profound, and deeply connected to the currents of existence. Sign 6. A life of extreme ups and downs. Life for you often unfolds in extremes, swinging between moments of unexpected joy and periods of intense hardship. Sudden losses, betrayals, or upheavals may appear without warning, only to be followed by moments of renewal, clarity, or surprising opportunity. These fluctuations are not random. They reflect a soul that perceives life with uncommon depth, feeling both the heights and the depths with extraordinary intensity. You may recall times when everything seemed to collapse, work, relationships, or circumstances, yet a chance encounter, an intuitive decision, or the unexpected support of someone shifted the path. For others, these occurrences may seem coincidental. For you, they resonate as part of the subtle, unseen rhythm of life, a pattern that repeats across lifetimes. The extremes of life leave lasting imprints. Joy can feel luminous, almost overwhelming, while hardship can pierce deeply, touching places others might never reach. These experiences are remembered vividly, carrying significance often unnoticed by the world. Over time, patterns emerge: the rise and fall of fortune, pivotal encounters, and the cyclical unfolding of challenges, revealing a life marked by both intensity and meaning. Such intensity also shapes your emotional depth. You feel the struggles of others as if they were your own. Their joys, sorrows, and triumphs resonate in your heart with uncanny clarity. Moments of despair and elation are intertwined, leaving impressions that are personal yet universal, reflecting a soul that has journeyed, learned, and grown across many lifetimes. Even the most turbulent experiences leave traces of growth. Extremes refine perception, sharpen empathy, and heighten sensitivity to subtle energies and patterns. Life feels alive in all its dimensions: the highs, the lows, the sudden turns, and this intensity is unmistakable for a soul that has journeyed far. If these patterns, extremes, and heightened perceptions feel familiar, they point to something deeper in your journey: a wisdom and sensitivity that extend beyond a single lifetime. Your life moves in rhythms shaped by depth, awareness, and experiences echoing far beyond the ordinary. You feel fully, perceive profoundly, and navigate the world with insights arising not only from the challenges of this lifetime, but from subtle lessons carried by your soul across time. Sign 7. Compassionate heart and quiet kindness. Some hearts naturally feel more deeply than others. Perhaps yours is one of them. You notice it in subtle ways: the quiet ache when someone suffers, the instinct to help without being asked, the gentle attention you offer to those who cannot voice their struggles. This compassion flows effortlessly, like a river nourishing all it touches. You may have seen your kindness appear almost unconsciously, guiding a lost child to their parents, tending to an injured animal, or simply sitting with someone in pain. The world may overlook these acts, yet they leave traces, small, profound, and lasting, like sunlight filtering through dense forest leaves. Your empathy often reaches beyond the obvious: a neighbor relieved of a hidden burden, a friend comforted without words, a stranger's day brightened by an unnoticed gesture. These are reflections of your old soul. The resonance of such moments lingers, shaping lives in ways that may only be revealed much later. Perhaps you have felt the weight of another's sorrow as if it were your own, or recognized joy and relief in someone before they even speak it aloud. Your presence itself can heal, without explanation or effort. Simply being fully present, without judgment, communicates more than advice ever could. This sensitivity and quiet generosity never seek recognition. They simply exist. They reflect a depth of soul that naturally moves toward connection, empathy, and care. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, this is a clear sign. You are an old soul. Your compassion is not accidental. It is the echo of lifetimes spent learning the rhythms of human suffering and joy, carrying an innate ability to touch others deeply and effortlessly without fanfare. Sign 8. Natural attraction to Buddhist teachings. Some souls feel a quiet pull toward the teachings of the Buddha, as if returning to a home long remembered. Perhaps you are one of them. Karma, mindfulness, compassion, and interconnectedness. These are not abstract ideas for you. they resonate as familiar truths, woven into the very rhythm of your being. Meditation, reflection, or even a silent walk through nature may feel less like learning and more like remembering something your soul has always known. You may notice subtle shifts in how life unfolds. Moments that once sparked confusion now pass with quiet clarity. Decisions arrive with almost imperceptible guidance. Opportunities appear as if by chance, and relationships begin to mirror a deeper understanding that cannot be spoken aloud. This is not effort or control. It is your soul moving in harmony with its own memory. Perhaps you have experienced sudden insight during a conversation, a spontaneous calm in the midst of chaos, or a profound sense of right timing, as if invisible currents are guiding you toward what is truly needed. These are not coincidences. They are whispers of alignment, confirmations that your consciousness is attuned to a larger flow. Every instinctive act of patience, every impulse toward compassion, reflects a soul that has carried these principles across lifetimes. This resonance is not only mental, it is lived in your body and felt in your heart. Small gestures, a quiet word, a thoughtful pause, a still presence, carry weight, influencing others in ways that often go unnoticed. A calm response in a tense moment, listening when someone needs it, or offering help without being asked, can quietly shape the unfolding of events. The attraction to Buddhist teachings is also a measure of time layered within you. Lessons feel intuitive because they have been lived before, in countless forms, across countless lives. Meditation, mindfulness, compassion, these are not new tools. They are echoes, familiar threads weaving the same truths over and over. Recognizing this pull is a sign that your soul carries memory, wisdom, and the capacity to perceive subtle currents that shape life. When these principles resonate naturally, without effort, study, or proof, it is an unmistakable signal. You are an old soul. Your consciousness has long danced with the subtle rhythms of existence, quietly aware, profoundly connected, and prepared to navigate the world with insight that emerges organically from the depths of experience. Sign 9. Drawn to solitude. For the old soul, solitude is not loneliness. It is sanctuary. It is a space where reflection, clarity, and insight arise naturally, where the whispers of experience and the quiet currents of intuition can be heard without distraction. If you're drawn to these quiet spaces, it is a sign that your soul has lived many lives, carrying wisdom, awareness, and sensitivities that extend beyond ordinary perception. Time spent alone is not avoidance. It is nourishment for your inner world, a chance to reconnect with the depth of your being, integrate life's lessons, and move in rhythm with the subtle flows that guide your soul. You may notice a natural inclination to step back from crowded gatherings, superficial conversations, or chaotic environments. This is not rejection of others. It is recognition that your energy, presence, and understanding are best nurtured in stillness. Perhaps you wander through silent early mornings in a park, sit beside the ocean as the tide rolls in, or pause at home, observing life's patterns unfold in subtle ways. In these spaces, intuition sharpens, memories surface, and understanding flows effortlessly. Solitude becomes both sanctuary and mirror, revealing the depth of your soul and the echoes of experiences accumulated across lifetimes. This quiet inclination also serves as protection. The heightened sensitivity of an old soul can make constant interaction exhausting or overwhelming. Time alone allows your heart and mind to process layers of experience, rest after life's intense fluctuations, and attune to the subtle energies of people, events, and circumstances. In these moments, patience, discernment, and awareness strengthen naturally, qualities cultivated across lifetimes and guiding you in every decision and interaction. Yet solitude is never isolation. It is communion with yourself, with echoes of past experiences, and with the subtle rhythms of the world. Here, dreams are recalled vividly, intuitive nudges are recognized clearly, and inner guidance surfaces unmistakably. Like a lake reflecting the sky only when its waters are still, your deepest wisdom emerges when the soul embraces quietude. Being drawn to solitude is, in itself, a profound sign. It reflects a soul attuned to life's subtleties, capable of perceiving rhythms and truths hidden to most, and prepared to engage with the world from a place of depth, clarity, and quiet strength. Sign 10. Life flows with synchronicity. Perhaps in your life, you have noticed moments when everything seems to align in ways that defy explanation. A bird appears just as a thought crosses your mind. A number sequence repeats at the precise moment a choice must be made, or a stranger's words strike exactly the truth your heart has been seeking. These are not coincidences. They are synchronicities, subtle currents guiding your steps, confirming the path your soul has long known. You may notice how certain animals appear at pivotal moments. A magpie crossing your path when clarity is needed, a dove after doubt, or a fleeting glimpse of a hawk calling for courage. Each carries meaning, not in grand spectacle, but in the quiet resonance it evokes, a symbolic language your soul recognizes instinctively. Numbers often speak in the same way. 111, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, appearing at reflective moments, nudging your attention, or affirming choices without explanation. These patterns are life's gentle reminder that nothing exists in isolation, that each moment is threaded with unseen intention. Synchronicities extend beyond birds and numbers. A song might play on the radio mirroring your inner state, or a chance conversation might deliver insight at just the right time. Even the smallest gestures, a coin on the path, a message from someone long forgotten, can carry significance, linking moments across time and space. They are not accidents. They are the language of a soul attuned to the hidden currents of life. Synchronicities are neither random nor trivial. They are confirmations that your awareness resonates with the deeper intelligence of existence, that your choices, reflections, and presence align with life's subtle rhythms. For the old soul, these experiences are unmistakable. They reveal a consciousness finely tuned to patterns, symbols, and messages that others may overlook. Your soul recognizes these currents because it has lived, observed, and learned across many lifetimes. Each synchronistic moment is a quiet affirmation. The path is yours. The universe is listening, and your awareness moves in harmony with the currents of life that have flowed long before this incarnation. Beyond the signs, the purpose of the old soul in a modern age. As these signs weave through your life, a deeper truth begins to surface, an awareness that your presence here is not accidental. Your sensitivities, intuitions, and inner clarity were not shaped for a quiet existence hidden from the world. They were shaped for this era, a time when noise overshadows meaning and people drift far from their own center. In a world overwhelmed by urgency and distraction, the old soul awakens as a balancing force, carrying an ancient memory into a modern age that has forgotten how to pause, breathe, and feel. Old souls often arrive during transitional periods when societies feel fractured and individuals feel unanchored. While many around you may rush through life without direction, you move at a pace aligned with deeper rhythms, the kind that cannot be taught, only remembered. This resonance becomes a subtle, stabilizing presence for others. It is not something you try to do. It is simply who you are. Your steadiness offers a kind of calm that people feel before they understand it. A quiet reassurance that life is not as chaotic as it appears. Your purpose unfolds gently. It does not rely on achievements or recognition, nor does it depend on being seen or understood. Instead, your influence works in the spaces between words, in the energy you bring into a room, in the quiet clarity that softens the emotional storms of others. You disrupt the hurried momentum of modern life simply by being yourself. When others encounter your presence, they often find themselves slowing down, breathing more deeply, or remembering parts of themselves they had long ignored. This is where your purpose begins, not through instruction, but through resonance. As your life deepens, your role expands beyond the personal. Your inner work, your empathy, your resilience, and your intuitive choices become part of a larger movement that influences the collective unconscious. Each moment of compassion, each decision rooted in truth, sends out a subtle shift in the energetic fabric of the world. You may never witness the full impact of these shifts, yet the effects travel far. The old soul's purpose is woven into the quiet evolution of human consciousness, a gradual awakening that unfolds through countless small moments rather than dramatic revelations. This purpose does not demand constant engagement. Old souls often feel a powerful need for solitude, and this need is not a retreat from responsibility. It is essential to fulfilling it. Solitude restores your inner clarity. It allows you to process what you absorb from the world and reconnect with the deeper currents beneath ordinary consciousness. In these moments of quiet, you gather the strength, insight, and groundedness that later radiate outward when you re-enter the world. Your solitude and your service are not opposites. They nourish each other. The time you spend in stillness allows you to meet life with authenticity rather than depletion. Your contribution to collective awakening takes forms so gentle they may seem invisible, yet they matter profoundly. A conversation that softens someone's fear, a moment of empathy that dissolves someone's shame, a presence that calms someone without a single word spoken. These are the kinds of moments through which awakening begins in the world. The ripples of such moments extend far beyond what you will ever see. And this awakening is not confined to any single culture, belief system, or tradition. Across the world, old souls rise in many forms: in spiritual seekers, in artists, in healers, in elders, in quiet thinkers, in ordinary individuals who carry extraordinary depth. Each draws from their own ancestry, history, and inner knowing. What connects them is a shared frequency, a remembrance of truths that cross generations and continents. The form may vary, but the essence remains the same. A call to bring consciousness back into a world drifting away from itself. Ultimately, the purpose of the old soul is not to lead loudly, but to lead through presence. Your life becomes its own quiet teaching, expressed not through instruction, but through example. Your steadiness in uncertainty, your compassion in a world quick to judge, your ability to perceive meaning where others see only chaos. By living in alignment with your inner truth, you remind others of their own. You become a beacon not by trying to shine, but simply by being who you are. In this way, the old soul contributes to the world's awakening, not through force or persuasion, but through the subtle, enduring power of a life lived with awareness, integrity, and depth. Understanding this purpose is only the beginning. Living it fully requires walking a path attuned to the rhythms, challenges, and quiet awakenings that mark the old soul's journey. The path of the old soul. Walking as an old soul is a journey unlike any other. It is measured not in accolades or recognition, but in depth of perception, subtle insight, and the quiet unfolding of understanding. Perhaps you have long sensed that life operates on layers invisible to most, currents of energy, hidden patterns, and whispers of guidance that slip past ordinary awareness. This attunement shapes the way you see the world, the choices you make, and the way you move through both calm and storm. Life rarely follows a straight line. Moments of joy can rise swiftly and unexpectedly, only to be followed by trials that feel intense or disorienting. Yet these fluctuations carry a rhythm, a pattern that resonates deeply with your soul. Each peak and valley, each challenge and fleeting triumph is experienced with awareness that surpasses the ordinary. It is not about escaping hardship, but moving through it with clarity, resilience, and a sense of subtle purpose. The old soul naturally seeks stillness. Solitude is not emptiness or withdrawal. It is a sanctuary where intuition speaks, dreams echo guidance, and the currents of past experience surface with quiet clarity. In these spaces, reflection deepens, insights emerge, and the soul realigns with the unseen patterns that shape life. Here, presence becomes tangible, decisions gain nuance, and the richness of inner life unfolds like a silent ocean beneath the waves. Connection with others flows differently for an old soul. It is felt more than expressed. You notice the unspoken, sense the hidden struggles, and respond with empathy that does not seek recognition. Small gestures, a gentle word, a listening presence, an unseen act of kindness ripple outward, touching lives in ways rarely measured but deeply felt. Influence comes not from instruction, but from embodying insight, living with integrity, and moving in harmony with the subtle currents of life. The journey also invites surrender. Outcomes are not always clear, and the urge to control can conflict with the soul's natural rhythm. Yet there is an underlying current that guides, a thread of coherence woven through seeming chaos. Recognizing this allows the old soul to act with discernment, navigate uncertainty with patience, and align choices with a deeper flow of existence. Ultimately, the path of the old soul is one of quiet awakening. It is not about perfection, spectacle, or authority, but about attuning to the subtle, persistent signals of life, intuition, synchronicity, empathy, and reflection. Each experience, whether a fleeting insight, a recurring dream, or a moment of profound resonance, confirms the depth of a soul that has lived, observed, and carried wisdom across lifetimes. And as this understanding unfolds, The old soul illuminates the world not through words, but through presence, through the lived reality of a consciousness attuned to life's hidden depths. If this wisdom resonates with you, please like this video and subscribe to join us on the path of conscious living.